The text that changed everything. I was in a business meeting when the message arrived. Just a glance at the notification and my blood froze. Can't wait for tonight, baby. Kids are at their dad's. We have the whole place to ourselves. It was from my wife. And it didn't make any sense. Our daughter is 21. There are no little kids. No shared custody. We don't even have shared weekends. I stepped out of the meeting early, my gut in full rebellion. Call it instinct, call it business-honed precision. I knew something was off. And I'd learned never to ignore that voice in my head. I didn't go home. I went to my daughter's apartment, the one I paid for, the one I kept a key to. The place was empty, but under her bed I found it. A manila folder. Inside were receipts. Hotel bookings. Spa treatments. Expensive dinners. All paid with the credit card I gave to my wife. But what shook me the most wasn't the receipts. It was the handwriting on the notes. My daughter's handwriting. Mom at Hilton, March 3rd to 4th. Told Dad we were on a spa weekend together. Dozens of notes like that. And her laptop, carelessly left open, had the email thread to match. My daughter wasn't just covering for her mom, she was orchestrating the entire thing. Lingerie store links. Hotel options. Alibi templates. The daughter I raised was her mother's accomplice. I took pictures of everything. And then I drove home. But I wasn't angry the way you'd expect. No screaming, no throwing things. I was cold. Sure. Calculated. The kind of clarity that comes before a storm. And the storm was just about to begin. Chapter 2. The Face of Betrayal. I arrived home to find my wife dressed to impress. Makeup flawless, wearing a new dress I hadn't seen before. Going somewhere? I asked casually. She didn't flinch. Book club. At Patricia's. Patricia's in Bermuda? I replied. She posted beach photos this morning. Her face paled in an instant. I didn't wait for her excuses. I know about Brad, I said. I know everything. And right on cue our daughter walked in. Supposed to be in class but clearly checking in on the damage. She froze the moment she saw me. Dad, I can explain. Explain what? That you used the apartment I pay for to help your mother cheat on me? That you were the one setting up hotels and covering her tracks. Then she said it. You know what? Good. I'm glad Mom found someone who actually makes her happy. You're so effing boring, Dad. She said I was pathetic. That I didn't fight for my marriage. That Brad saw Mom as a woman while I just saw her as some trophy. And the worst part? My wife didn't defend me. She just stood there. Crying, yes, but not from guilt. From being caught. In that moment, I realized I was surrounded by people who didn't respect me. Who used me. Who saw me not as a man, not as a father, but as a wallet. And it was the last time that would ever happen. The detonation. Still calm, still controlled, I pulled out my phone and began making calls. My lawyer, my accountant, my banker. What are you doing? My wife whispered. What I should have done the day you started lying, I replied. I'm done being your ATM. My daughter laughed. You can't just cut us off. Mom will take half of everything. Prenup, sweetheart. Ironclad. She leaves with exactly what she brought in, 30 grand of credit card debt and a beat-up Honda. Her smirk faltered. You can't cut me off, I have finals. I have rent due. Then get a job. I packed a bag, walked out the door and didn't look back. The next 72 hours were surgical. I canceled every credit card but my own. Removed my wife from all accounts. Stopped the automatic payments for my daughter's rent, tuition and allowance. Terminated her lease. Canceled her car. Called her university and informed them I would no longer be responsible for tuition. The house. Listed for sale. It was mine before the marriage. By day 4 the texts started coming in, pleas from my wife, cries from my daughter, threats disguised as guilt. By day 5 the divorce papers were filed. Infidelity voided everything. And by day 7 I got a call, from Brad. Chapter 4, The Fool with the Nerve. Hey man, I think we should talk. Man to man. That's what Brad, the personal trainer, had the audacity to say to me. I didn't hang up. I wanted to hear the nonsense. I didn't know she was married, he began. She said you guys were basically separated. You trained her in our home gym, I said. With our wedding photos on the wall. Silence. She said you hadn't touched her in years. She was lonely. And that made it okay to sleep with her? In the house I paid for. Again silence. You want her? You got her. Good luck affording her tastes on your salary. I hung up. A week later the messages shifted. No longer indignant. Just desperate. My daughter said she dropped her internship. Couldn't afford gas. She was eating ramen every day. My wife said Brad dumped her. She couldn't afford therapy. Couldn't sleep. She cried every night. I ignored them all. Because this wasn't punishment. It was justice. But justice, it turns out, only gets lonelier the longer it lasts. No contact, no regrets. 3 months and I was thriving. Moved to a new city. Started a lean consulting firm. Lost 20 pounds. Grew a beard. I looked younger than I had in a decade. Then one afternoon I walked out of the gym and saw her. My daughter. Standing by my car. She looked nothing like the girl I raised. Her expensive clothes replaced by faded jeans and a Walmart hoodie. Her voice cracked when she said, "Hi, Dad." We sat down in a nearby coffee shop. "I was trying to protect Mom," she sobbed. "I thought I was helping." "You coordinated her affair," I replied. "You didn't just lie. You managed the whole operation. And when I confronted you, you called me pathetic." "I didn't mean it." "Yes, you did. You meant every word. Because that's who you really were." She begged me for help. Tuition. Food. Medications for her mom. I said no. Not because I couldn't afford it, but because they needed to understand. This wasn't about money. This was about respect. And once it's gone, it doesn't come back. But that wasn't the end. Not even close. Chapter 6. No more chances. 2 days later, they showed up at my apartment building. Both of them. My ex-wife looked like she'd aged 10 years. My daughter, thinner, paler, more desperate than before. "We need to talk," my ex-wife said. "No," I replied. "Leave now or I'm calling the police." "You'd have your own daughter arrested?" "You made that decision." "Not me." My daughter pleaded, offered to sign contracts, go to therapy, pay me back. I didn't budge. "You can't survive without me," my wife snapped. "Is that what you want? You've already survived without me, when you were sneaking around with Brad." Then came the dagger. My daughter stepped forward. "What about grandchildren? When I have kids, you'll never meet them." I stopped. Turned around. "With the way you're going? You won't even be able to afford them. And even if you could, I wouldn't want anything to do with them. Because some lines, once crossed, are permanent." Chapter 7. Goodbye forever. A year has passed since that day. I've built a new life. My business is growing. I'm dating someone who loves me for me. I play guitar. I travel. I laugh. And them? My ex-wife works as a grocery cashier, living with her elderly mother. Brad got married to a 25-year-old influencer and posted online about surviving narcissistic abuse. My daughter is engaged to a teenager she met at work. She's pregnant, broke, and still working retail. They wanted me to meet the grandchild. My lawyer called about revising the restraining order for communication. I said no. Because I've already lost enough to betrayal. I gave everything to a family that saw me